What if the goal of life was never to have more? What if the wisest cultures in human history were all secretly pointing towards the exact same truth? Not poverty, not deprivation, not suffering, but just enough. Enough clothing, enough food, enough tools, enough money, enough possessions. Because once you have enough, life begins. I used to think abundance meant more stuff, more options, more storage bins, more backups, more just in case. But something strange happened when I started making more money. I started wanting less, not because I became depressed, not because I gave up, not because I hated things, but because I realized something shocking. My stuff was quietly taking my life away from me. Every object was asking for attention, clean me, store me, organize me, move me, use me, maintain me, think about me, worry about me. And I realized I wasn't owning possessions anymore. My possessions were owning me. I, this this old guy I knew, he'd say, "You're a victim of your possessions." And yes, we can be victims of our possessions. And then I started studying cultures around the world. And I noticed something fascinating. Some of the happiest, wisest, most spiritually grounded cultures on earth all had philosophies around the exact same idea: knowing when you have enough, not endless accumulation, enough. And once you see this pattern, you can never unsee it. The Swedish idea. In Sweden, there's a culture of philosophy often connected to moderation and balance. Not too much, not too little, just right. I don't know how to say this, but Lagom, not excess, not deprivation, enough. A home that functions beautifully, food that nourishes, clothes that last, objects that serve a purpose. And honestly, this changes your nervous system because excess creates invisible mental noise. Too many choices, too many objects, too many unfinished decisions. The brain starts drowning in micro decisions all day long, and people wonder why they feel exhausted. Then look at the Japanese culture: Zen simplicity, space, intentional emptiness. Not emptiness as lack, emptiness as breathing room. Space for thought, space for peace, space for beauty, space for presence. A single bowl, a single flower, a clean room, a simple meal. And suddenly, you can hear yourself think again. Modern culture says, fill every space. Zen asks, what if the space itself is sacred? The Hindu Indian idea. Then you look into Hindu philosophy: non attachment, not hatred of the material world, not forced poverty, but freedom from slavery of craving. Because every desire without awareness becomes endless hunger, and endless hunger creates endless suffering. You buy something, you feel good for 3 days, and then the mind wants another thing, another upgrade, another trend, another dopamine hit. And eventually, people realize, I do not need more stimulation. I need more peace. That realization changes a human being forever. Many indigenous and African traditions understood something modern society forgot. Resources flow. Nothing truly belongs to us forever. Food flows, tools flow, clothing flows, land flows through generations, wealth flows. Keeping excess while others suffer was often viewed as imbalance. And honestly, nature itself works this way. Trees do not hoard fruit forever. Rivers do not drink their own water. Life flows. And when humans stop the flow, stagnation begins. One of the strangest things that happened to me when I started making more money was I began purging my life because suddenly I realized I could replace things if I truly needed them. I no longer needed to live in fear. I no longer needed 10 versions of the same object. And instead of buying piles of junk, I started buying fewer, higher quality things: natural fiber shirts, good socks, comfortable underwear, quality food, simple clothing that felt good on my body. And because the quality was better, I needed less. That's the paradox nobody talks about. Cheap excess creates more consumption. Quality creates peace. And another thing happened. I stopped caring about fashion trends. I stopped dressing for strangers. I started wearing what actually felt good: comfort, breathability, movement, practicality. And life opened up because so much human suffering comes from performance. People are exhausted trying to look successful instead of trying to feel alive. The carpenter philosophy. And here's where I realized something beautiful. A carpenter can still be a minimalist because every tool has a purpose. Minimalism does not mean owning almost nothing. It means everything has meaning, everything has function, everything earns its place. That changes everything because the goal isn't empty rooms. The goal is intentional life, a meaningful life, a functional life, a peaceful life. And maybe this is the real flex now. Not endless consumption, but clarity, calmness, freedom from impulse, freedom from comparison, freedom from clutter, freedom from constantly craving. The modern world profits from making you feel incomplete, and peaceful people are hard to manipulate. How to find enough? Here's how you begin. Ask yourself, does this object serve my life or interrupt it? Does this purchase create freedom or maintenance? Would I buy this again today? Do I own this or does it own my attention? And maybe the biggest question of all is, what am I truly trying to feel? Because sometimes people are not buying objects, they are buying identity, hope, validation, status, comfort, escape. And no amount of objects can solve a spiritual emptiness. The goal of life may not be to accumulate endlessly. Maybe the goal is to become fully alive, to have enough space, to have enough peace, to have enough health, enough love, enough time to actually experience being human. And maybe abundance is not having everything. Maybe abundance is finally realizing you already have enough. Train your mind, train your attention, train your life. Try this on for yourself. Be your own scientist, be your own experimenter, and learn the beautiful art of enough. Love and peace all. I wish you wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day.